Hello folks, this is Haskell Spy. The Spy will come back to you live to return back into recording for the series of Mass Effect. Now, this is a little bit ahead of schedule than planned, but quick update was like changing up the schedule of my plan time, so I was kind of forced to like make adjustments ahead to make some adjustments for the new programming system that I have installed recently. So hopefully that you guys enjoyed the little intro, and hopefully you'll be able to like see this new ending of this video that I got in store. Now for the recap. From the last episode, we managed to be able to recover Liara from the dig site, and she was able to give us great details about the beacon, the Protheans, and that we fill in on the Reapers that it was the cause of the Protheans' destruction and demise. There's a lot to go about what Liara had to say, and if you want to learn more, you're going to have to go back to the last episode to see her explanation. All you need to know is that the Protheans were not exactly the first civilization to crumble, as I'm very curious as to who was the first, but if this cycle has been going on for a long time, as Liara has spoken, then all the more reason to see if we can stop Saren. So right now, we're going to take you back into the last checking point. Also, we managed to fill in on the council of the mission parameters. Not needless to say, they care a little bit more about what happens to the ruins than our very lives. So, got a little bit angsty with their stupidity, but okay. Alright, so... Alright. Let's see what we have here. Carnage. That'll do fine. Oh yeah, we got a bunch of equipment that we got from that planet. Let's see if we got something of upgrades. We're going to need to check up on our new passenger that's just coming to our crew, our guest, and our companion now, Liara, who's probably checking of her quarters.
Yes, Commander? Carry on, Presley. Yes, sir.
Yes, if you don't know Presley, he was part of his family was part of the first contact Marines of the first, no. Oh, wait, timeline? Alright, the first contact war. That Presley's family was part of the first contact war. So suffice to say, he's a little bit apprehensive with having aliens on board, but because of Shepard and I have persuaded him, he will try to be in a lane opening arms mood. So, continuing onward. You're kind of a little bit close in the last mission, Joker.
I prefer gold to silver, you know, for my medal. I figured you'd recommend me for one since I pulled your boots out of the fire.
You sure you want the medal?
If we present you with a medal, you'll end up sitting on stage listening to politicians make speeches for a couple of hours.
Indeed, and
That's a good point.
you don't
They
like
probably
politicians?
make me shave, too. I spent the last 7 weeks working on this baby. No medal's worth that. So, Commander, why don't you tell me why you're really here?
Well, first off, is to say congratulations on making sure that we don't die on that ruined planet. So, thank you. And now, good talk.
I have to go.
Alright, see you.
Joker is our pilot and has a unique sense of humor that we trying to get some used to, as he has his way of using natural puns.
Anything you need, Commander?
Just look at some personal input, Caden.
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
Is this an official evaluation, Commander? Or off the record?
Caden, when you're speaking with us, you feel free to speak your mind.
Alenko, when it's just you and me, you can consider it off the record.
That's a generous attitude. Okay. I think there's something wrong with all this.
Really?
This Saren is looking for records on some kind of galactic extinction. But we can't get backup from the Council? Sorry, Commander. There's writing on the wall here, but someone isn't reading it.
No, we hear you, okay? And there is writing on the wall that we're looking at.
The Council doesn't want to believe anything's wrong. I'd call it human nature, but...
I hear you. It just seems like a group that's been around as long as the Council should see this coming.
I agree.
Sorry if I got too informal. Protocol wasn't a big focus back in Bot.
That's alright.
Tell me about it.
Biotic acclimation and temperance didn't last past the airlock. To the kids they hauled in, it was brain camp. Sorry, hauled in is unkind. We were encouraged to commit to an evaluation of our abilities so an understanding of biotics could be compiled. There are worse results of accidental exposure to element 0 in the womb. Beats the brain tumors some kids grew up with.
So you doubt it was accidental?
Is there some question about how you were exposed?
My mother was downwind of a transport crash. It was before there were human biotics, a little after the discovery of the Martian ruins. It only gets iffy around 63 when Kinetics was running out of first-gen subjects. Until then, they'd relied on accidentals. A bunch of guys in suits show up at your door after school, and next thing you know, you're out on Jump Zero.
Tell us about Jump Zero.
Jump Zero is Gagarin Station, right? What's it like?
Yeah, that's the official name. Biggest and farthest facility we had for decades. Right on the termination shock, the outer edge of the solar system. It's where they did all the Goose Chase FTL research before we caught on to using mass effect fields. It was a sterile research platform when I was there.
Do you have any friends at Jump Zero? Or friends outside of Jump Zero?
There were other kids in the same boat, right? At least you weren't alone out there.
That's true. We did have a little circle that'd get together every night before lights out. We didn't have much to do, though. It was a research platform then, and Kinetics kept Jump Zero off the extranet to prevent leaks.
Then it's time to talk then?
Then you must have had plenty of time to get to know each other.
Yeah, we'd sit around and bowl every night after dinner, play cards or network games. There was this
Sounds
girl
fun.
named Rana who had a little circle grow up around her. She
Ooh,
was from Turkey,
tragic
and her
story.
family was very rich, but she was smart and charming as hell. Beautiful, but not stuck up about it. I think you'd have liked her.
Really? So, you have a crush on her? Does that mean you love her?
Sounds like she was special to you.
She was. Maybe she felt the same, but things never felt together. Training, you know.
So, the eternal exposures, tell us about it.
You know of any intentional exposures for certain?
No one knows. Doesn't mean they didn't happen. As big as the exposures were, it was hard to track down accidentals. It was different then. No one knew the potential, so there wasn't a lot of regulation. Anything Kinetics did was gold. I'm not saying they intentionally detonated drives over our outposts, but in retrospect, they were damn quick on the scene.
Okay, yeah, that sounds a bit rough. Go on.
Jump Zero is a long way from home. What was it like?
The grand gateway to humanity looks a lot better in the vids. But that's my own baggage, Commander. No bearing on this.
You could talk to us, you know?
Alenko, there's no regulation that says you can't be friends with your commander.
Yep, no rule about
I
that.
appreciate that, Commander. I just don't want you to think that I'm a whiner.
You're not a whiner, Caden. You're a badass. You're a stoic on the field, and you are a machine on the field. No one is suggests that you are a whiner. Get out of here. To be honest, I do have some of those concerns as well. The council, that's been here about as long as they have, should have saw this coming, or at least should know something about this. Well, answers for another time. Liara, I see you are making your accommodations. Getting comfortable.
Commander, are you coming to check up on me?
I was worried.
You look much better. How are you feeling?
Dr. Chakwas assures me I am going to be fine. I was impressed with her knowledge of Asari physiology.
Well, she's the best that we have in the Normandy.
You're in good hands. Dr. Chakwas knows what she's doing.
I never properly thanked you for saving me from the Geth, Commander. If you hadn't shown up...
Hey, don't mention it. Could have done the same for any one of the members of the crew.
I'm just glad we got there.
It's part of the job.
So am I. I know you took a chance bringing me aboard this ship. I have seen the way your crew looks at me. They do not trust me.
Because of your
But
buffer?
I am not like Benezia. I will do whatever I can to help you stop Saren. I promise.
Liara, I believe you. We know.
Don't worry, Liara. I trust you. I know you won't let me down.
It means a lot to hear you say that, Commander. Thank you.
It's no problem. But if you don't mind, and since you are, like, well, after the headache you experienced, we'd like to talk about you. You personally, and about your people in general.
Tell me about yourself, Liara.
Me? I am a afraid I'm not very interesting, Commander.
That's
I
bullshit.
spend most of my time on remote digs, unearthing mundane items buried in long-forgotten Prothean ruins.
Well, you must have get lonely doing that stuff.
Sounds dangerous. And lonely.
Sometimes I would run afoul of indigenous life forms or stumble across a small band of mercenaries or privateers, but I was always careful.
I almost
Until
saw
the Geth
that
followed me to
sarcasm.
Artemis Tau. I never found myself in any situation my biotics could not handle. As for the solitude, well, that is one aspect that most appealed to me. Sometimes I just need to get away from other people.
I don't understand. Why is that?
You don't like other people?
I suppose it comes from being a matriarch's daughter. People expected me to follow in Benezia's footsteps. They wanted me to become a leader of our people. Matriarchs guide their followers into the future. They seek the truth of what is yet to come. Maybe that's why I became so interested in the secrets of the past. It sounds so foolish when I say it out loud. It sounds like I became an archaeologist simply to spite Benezia.
No, it doesn't sound foolish at all,
All children rebel against their parents. It's
including
a
me.
natural part of growing up.
You share the wisdom of the matriarch, Shepard. That is exactly what Benezia said when I told her of my decision. But there was more to it than that. I felt drawn to the past. The Protheans were these wondrous, mysterious figures. I wanted to know everything about them. That is why I find you so fascinating.
Really?
You were marked by the beacon on Eden Prime. You were touched by working Prothean technology.
So, you want to dissect us in a lab or something because we're fascinating?
Sounds like you want to dissect me in a lab somewhere.
What? No, I did not mean to insinuate. I never meant to offend you, Shepard. I only meant that you would be an interesting specimen for an in-depth study. No, that's even worse.
You're cute when you're embarrassed. Alright, relax. We were just joking.
Calm down, Liara. I was only joking.
Joking? Oh, by the goddess, how could I be so dense? You must think I am a complete and utter fool.
Nonsense.
Now you know why I prefer to spend my time in the field with data disks and computers. I always seem to say something embarrassing around other people. Please, just pretend this conversation never happened.
Hello, hard to do. But, I want to know more about the Asari culture.
I'd like to know more about the Asari.
We were the first species to discover the Citadel.
I read about
We were
that.
instrumental in forming the Council, and we always strive to be the voice of peaceful cooperation in galactic disputes. My people believe we are all part of a single galactic community. Each species contributes something to the greater whole. Although we seek to understand other species, it seems few of them seek to understand us. The galaxy is filled with rumors and misinformation about my people.
I don't understand. What do you mean by rumors?
Like what?
Most of the inaccuracies are centered around our mating rituals.
Mating
Our species
rituals?
is monogendered, male and female, have no real meaning for us. We still require a partner to reproduce. This second parent, however, may be of any species and any gender.
So what are you saying? You can, like, still, like, you can reproduce asexually or something? I'm sorry, please explain me how that's even possible.
I don't understand. Your species can mate with anyone?
Mating is not quite the proper term, not as you understand it. Physical contact may or may not be involved, but it is not an essential element of the union. The true connection is mental. Our physiology allows us to meld with other beings. We can touch the very depths of their minds. We explore the genetic memory of their species. We share the most basic elements of their individual and racial identities. We then pass these traits on to our daughters. It is how we learn to grow as a species and how we develop a greater understanding of other races.
So, there are no males in the Asari? Okay. But what about the other parent?
What happens to your partner after the union?
Every relationship is different. Some unions are a single encounter with both parents parting ways afterwards. Others can be more long-term. Sometimes an Asari and her partner will stay together for many decades.
If that's so, then who was your father?
Do you know who Matriarch Benezia chose as her partner?
She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know my father, if you want to use that term, was another Asari.
You can still do that? Mate with the own same species?
I thought you always needed another species to serve as one of the parents.
Think about it, Shepard. If we were not able to mate with our own species, we would have died out long before we ever mastered spaceflight and left our homeworld. Union with our own
That's a
kind
good
is no
point.
longer common, not for the purposes of reproduction. Most Asari believe it weakens our species. Asari daughters inherit racial traits from the father species. If both parents are Asari, then nothing has been gained, or so conventional wisdom would hold. I am what is sometimes called a pureblood.
Pureblood?
Though no Asari would ever be cruel enough to say the word to my face, it is a great insult among my people.
So,
It is possible Benezia's partner was embarrassed by their union. She may have been too ashamed to publicly acknowledge me as her offspring.
now hold on, Liara. You don't know that. She may be ashamed. I'm sorry. Trace back. Forget what I just said. Listen. She. Look, you can't know that. You don't know that for sure.
Maybe she wanted to meet you but couldn't. Something could have happened to her. Maybe she passed away.
Or that she died.
You might be right. I hope you are. But I have no way to know for sure. Benezia never spoke of her partner. Whatever happened, it caused her too much pain to dwell on it. She raised me by herself, though that is not uncommon. Many Asari raise their children alone, particularly if the father species is short-lived. Often the partner will pass on long before the child reaches maturity.
How do they deal with that?
You Asari lived for 1,000 years. What happens when your partner dies?
Few sapient species live as long as my kind. We have learned to take a philosophical approach to our unions. We do not focus on the inevitable loss of our partners. Instead, we enjoy the time we spend with them.
That's
and even after they're gone,
almost
a part
romantic.
of them lives on in us. The union is a connection that transcends both time and space.
That's all interesting. And interesting things about the mating ritual part. But, now that's been cleared up, there's something else I want to ask Liara. I want to know more about your mother, Benezia.
Do you know why Benezia joined up with Saren?
I don't understand it. She was always outspoken about the need for the Asari to become more involved in shaping galactic events. Maybe she thought allying herself with Saren would somehow be for the greater good in the long run. At least I hope so.
You sound very troubled about this.
This hurts you, doesn't it?
None of this makes any sense to me. I have not spoken to Benezia in many years, but I know her. And this was not like her. Something changed.
Maybe. Maybe she discovers something what Saren has planned and may have a change of heart. In any case, if it comes down to a point when we meet Benezia, we're going to do our duty and arrest her. But we're not going to try to kill her. We're just going to kick her ass if we ran into her. I give you my word.
I should go.
We should go.
Goodbye, Shepard.
From the sounds of it, the Benezia wasn't always like that according to Liara. In fact, it's an unusual behavior change. Well, we'll figure that out later on.
Oh, before I go,
Ash?
you said you're serving with Commander Shepard now? We saw him on the news here. He's cute. Later, Sid.
Tell me you didn't hear that.
Afraid so. Sorry.
Afraid I did.
Oh, shoot me now.
Sorry.
One of my sisters. That's Sarah, the youngest. Surprised to see you here, sir. Thought you'd be chatting up, what's her name? Tassoni?
Liara?
Liara? Why would you think that?
Scuttlebutt says you got a bit of a thing for her. I could understand why. The crew's off limits with the regs against fraternization. And at least she looks like a woman.
That's cold.
You think I'm interested in Liara because she's the only one I'm allowed to date?
So you are interested in her. Of course, it could be politics. Alien diplomat's daughter, us under orders to make nice with the bug-eyed monsters. What's up? You didn't come by to eavesdrop on Family Mail.
Well, we didn't exactly mean to eavesdrop, but tell us about your family.
Your family seems to be important to you.
Yeah, we've always been close. Me and my sisters especially.
Sisters?
Dad on
How many
duty so
sisters
much,
we're
I
talking
help mom
about?
raise them.
How many sisters we're talking about? Okay then. Tell us more about your father.
Did your father serve with the fleet?
Yeah, took any crap posting he could get that offered space time. You know what? He worked his ass off trying to get recognized. He never made it above serviceman 3rd class. He was real proud when I made chief. First thing he did was salute.
I can respect that. A man of respect and honor. Tell us more about your mother.
What about your mother? You haven't mentioned her.
You must know what military wives are like. Strong because they have to be, able to raise kids while dad's away on a 6-month cruise.
Yep.
She has a degree in planetary geology. She and dad both wanted to see new worlds. She gave up her career to raise us, though.
Can you tell us more about your sisters? Like, how many are we talking about?
You have more than one sister? Sounds like a big family.
Family tree to be
Yeah,
exact.
I'm the oldest, then Abby, then Lynn. Sarah's the youngest. She's still in high school.
Okay, 3 then.
4 girls. Dad used to say he felt more outnumbered at home than on maneuvers.
I think that's how all fathers felt. So what's it like at home?
Where did you grow up?
Where did you grow up?
All over. We transferred a half a dozen times before I finished grade school. You go where personnel command sends you, right? I guess that's why I'm so tight with my sisters. We'd have to leave all our friends every 2 or 3 years.
So you raised your sisters?
After helping raise them, your sisters still talk to you? Amazing.
Things were tense between Sarah and me for a while. Then we bonded.
Tell us about it.
Sounds like a story. Feel like sharing?
Sarah got herself a boyfriend who wanted to go faster than she did. Mike.
Mike?
I didn't think he was a bad kid, just pushy. Lynn would send me these worried vid mails, and I'd tell her to relax.
Vid bells.
Where were you when this was going on?
I was on active duty. Sarah's graduating high school this year. This was only a couple of years back. They were on Amaterasu. At the time, I was assigned to Chernobyl. Same cluster, but a dozen LY away. Close enough to talk regularly, too far to make it back in an emergency. I couldn't afford a fast packet flight.
So no means no?
If he really liked her, he wouldn't be pushy.
Yeah, of course. If he didn't ask at all, I'd wonder if he thought Sarah was ugly. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Mike thought they'd go for a romantic walk in the woods, because he figured it was past time they did the deed. She levered Mike face first into a tree and left. Didn't have a scratch on her. Good thing Mom and Dad had us all learn some kind of self-defense.
Self-defense, all of you?
I took emergency leave and walked Sarah to school for a few days.
So where were the police in all this? Did you even call for the police?
Why didn't you tell the police?
She said it wouldn't solve the real problem, and she and Mike would both become household names. It was a small colony. I said it was her call to make, that we should let her do it her way. Mom was pretty pissed about that.
I can imagine. So, self-defense. What exactly did each of you have learned about that area routine?
You said all of your sisters learned self-defense?
Lynn did pistol practice, but didn't
Cool.
like it. She's kind of nervous. Sarah took Aikido.
Aikido.
Abby decided to learn the sword. She always was a little weird. Likes big skirts and tops you have to tie her into. They do great things to her figure, though.
Sounds my kind of woman. What about you?
So, what did you learn?
One of Dad's friends taught me Marine hand to hand.
I like that too. My area expertise in self-defense is martial arts, boxing, judo, and karate. I can relate to what your sisters have learned. It's very dedicated of you.
You traveled all the way home to walk your sister to school.
It was only a dozen light years. Like a day's cruise. It's not like it was going to Earth or something. My last day out, Mike was waiting for us. Sarah had told her friends, so everyone at school knew what he did. He wasn't happy. I wanted to snap him in half, but Sarah gave me this look, this let me handle it, I need to do this alone look. She kept her cool, God bless her, as he screamed in her face.
That
She just
asshole?
let it vent. Then he tried to punch her.
He
I
didn't.
swear, she just flowed around him. Next thing I knew, he's face down on the sidewalk, and there's blood everywhere.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
That's unbelievable. Sarah must be as good as you.
Better. I'm more or less a straight-up puncher. When he swung, she wasn't there anymore, and he fell. She helped him stop the bleeding and had me call an ambulance. She told the paramedics he fell. Before they took him to the hospital, Mike touched Sarah's arm. I thought he was going to end up on the ground again. But he hung his head, whispered, "I'm sorry," and started crying.
Okay.
She hugged him. The Williams women are a decisive bunch, Commander. We do things when we're ready. Not before, not after.
Quite of an ending of the story. An asshole that turns into a whiny bitch after being slammed down on the concrete floor. Okay, that's an interesting story.
Your sister's something else. But you didn't mention your father at all. Was he on deployment?
Dad always wanted to serve in space, but he wanted us to have real ground under our feet. He'd say, space is beautiful, but you can't raise a family there.
And I think he was
cannot
right.
rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. All times I've enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone.
Huh.
For always roaming with a hungry heart, much have I seen and known. Cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments.
That sounds like poetry.
I never thought I'd hear you reciting poetry.
Just because I can drill you between the eyes at 100 meters doesn't mean I can't like sensitive stuff. Just don't spread it around.
Secret
Ulysses was
safe.
my dad's favorite poem. Every time he shipped out, he recorded me reading it. He had a dozen versions when he retired.
Must be a good piece.
Does he still like it?
I sure hope so. I read it to his grave every time I come home.
Grave.
Dad passed on a few years back. He's probably still watching though. So behave.
Understood. From the afterlife, from the heavens.
You mean from wherever we go after death?
Dead on, Skipper. He's with God now. That's not a problem with you, is it? That I believe in God?
Hell no. I'm a Christian myself. I always knew there's something special about you, Ash, and now I know. I'm a Christian myself. That means I believe in Jesus Christ as well.
You know that old saw, there's never an atheist in a foxhole? I've been in a lot of foxholes.
Yeah, I guess you have. I've met a few people who are really weirded out by my faith. Because I work in space, I can't believe in a higher power? Jeez.
There aren't
Hello,
too many
have you
people.
looked out the window? How can you look at this galaxy and not believe in something?
Dead
I should
on.
get back to my duties. Didn't mean to take up so much of your time.
It's no problem. How are we doing?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Not sure I'd buy Dr. Chisoni's story about her and her mom not talking. They're family, right?
Well, I believe her. I don't think that she has any intentions of lying, or that she knows how to do a lie.
I think she's being straight with us. Or at least, I don't think she lies very often.
Yeah, she's probably really bad at it. Hey, want me to ask her about her sex life? Might be illuminating.
Now, Ash, don't be cruel, okay? I just learned that she doesn't take jokes very good, alright?
I don't think she's used to teasing. Good-natured or otherwise.
Aw, no fun, Skipper. Too bad those ruins got destroyed. I mean, they lasted thousands of years. That's impressive.
Indeed. Council was worried about the destruction of ruins too. Alright, Ash. This is good talk. Talk to you later. Goodbye.
We'll talk later, Williams.
Looking forward to it, Skipper.
Until that I finish the side quests for both Rex and Garrus, I won't be speaking to them. I usually do every mission that comes to an end, but right now I'm going to.
Hey, Shepard.
I should go.
See you later.
For those of you that didn't know, for the last couple of episodes, as we discovered, Tally is kind of like royalty. Even though that there are a bunch of admirals and the Quarrying Fleet that may have children of their own, her father is a special case, as he's quite a big deal, and the migrant fleet. Best way to describe how Tally feels about her father is that she greatly admires and respects the man.
Looking for supplies?
Show us what you got.
Let's see what you've got.
You bet, Commander.
Let's check out Liara's locker room. Alright. Alright, now we go to the galaxy map. Going to be letting a little secret before we go any further. Because after the mission from the last episode, and that we completed one of the primary missions, we need to recuperate and restock and see what goes on. So therefore, we need to return to the Citadel and to be able to restock.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Commander Shepard, my name is Nasana Dantius.
What?
I have a job for you. I can't say any more in unsecured communication.
Really?
If you're interested in hearing my offer, meet me on the Citadel so I can talk in person. I'll be waiting in the Diplomat's Lounge on the Presidium.
Okay. Alright folks, this will be a good stopping point after these messages. It has gone spy, the spy sign off for now.